inauguration itself will begin. And that's the process of trying to get Bola Tinubu's election victory to be legally quashed. Now, let's be clear that whatever portents you have and whatever crystal balls you look into, it's by no means clear who's got the upside in that licit process as we prepare to enter into the realm. But along the way to that mammoth occurrence, something like an icicle of foreboding is forming, with allegations of deep fake audio leaks, questions being raised about the limits of freedom of expression, amid warnings from the Nigerian government to Peter Obi and his running mate Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed against inviting insurrection, and of course calls for the legal issues around the election to be resolved before the swearing-in ceremony on May the 29th. So how do we unpack all that? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the Director General of the Labour Party's Campaign Council, High Chief Akin Osuntokun. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
You're welcome.
And High Chief as opposed to Low Chief or No Chief at all.
The meaning of my title is actually Field Marshal. Balloon. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I add that to your string of titles already. But
exactly.
Thank you very much indeed for coming in. Where do things stand now from your perspective? Because there won't be any more reckoning beyond the courts, will there?
Isn't that sufficient? The process, the court, going to the court is an active process, of the election cycle. So it's a very significant, process. Not any less significant, than the actual voting itself. Because if the actual voting is becomes victim of fraud, of criminal manipulation, then the role of the court is to redress that. So actually the court seem to have is the final habitat, on the elections. So
and do you feel confident?
Yes, of course. And of course, the weight of, and that's why there is all these distractions all over the place. The ploy, we had this today, another thing tomorrow, is a ploy, a kangaroo trick to crowd out, the weight. There are weighty allegations in the petition and they know incontestable infractions, So what they've come up is this ploy, to deflect, to distract, from the core issue at the moment, which is the petition line before the court. If I were in their position too, I would be jittery. The scripture says the wicked run, even though nobody is chasing him. If you are a receiver of a stolen good, you are going to be apprehensive. So I understand the state of paranoia that they are in. And many of these things being bandied around, interim government, forging something, it's all part of a ploy, to diffuse, what is going on with the courts.
Well, to be entirely fair, I mean, I understand what you're saying about them, the other side, reacting to your description of them as reacting to your petition in court. But I mean, beyond those people who you would expect to react, there's been a whole slew of independent senior advocates of Nigeria who have examined the grounds on which you filed your petition and are saying that you don't really stand a chance.
Charles, I'm surprised you are bringing it up.
Well, I'm simply airing the other side.
You said a set of signs, so we also have the same number. One number of signs.
I like that.
We take, Well, as I said, I've seen the petition, I've gone through it, and I've seen a lot of evidence. It is not
to be trifled with.
It is not contestable. It will take, I don't know how to put it, an unconscious, or somebody who lacks conscientiousness as a judge to rule, otherwise it's too brazen. It's like 1 + 1 + 1 is 2. It's as clear as that, So
So what is the sequence of events now? I mean, are you getting any sense of when this will come up in the tribunal?
Of course, I mean, within this week or next week, the case will start, at the tribunal and then the appeal court.
Right.
So it's not, we are fully prepared and ready for, we have a solid case. They were so careless, and reckless in the manipulation of the results that you don't need the primary school board who tell you that there's something wrong here.
Well, let's talk about the corners of the picture then, because I mean, you talked about what you described as distractions and all the things that are going on, but those things are going on, and therefore they fall within the news space. Let's talk about the audio leak of a purported private conversation between Peter Obi and Bishop David Oyedepo, in which Mr. Obi is alleged to have described the elections as a religious war. The Labour Party, your party, says it's a deep fake of Mr. Obi's voice concocted by the APC. Tell us more about your line of argument there.
There's nothing to add to it. I mean, a concussion is a concussion. Now look, I don't know if you must have been following the CNN of recent, and it's a coincidence. I'm sure that you will have had the news that on the negative potential of artificial intelligence. And it's being led by...
We did something on it last night.
Exactly.
Yeah, on this program.
This is precisely the reason they are calling for a ban, a temporary ban on the development of artificial, because it can serve these kind of devious purposes.
They're called sound-alikes, that part of artificial intelligence. But there's no evidence that yours, I mean, you haven't presented incontrovertible evidence that yours was a sound-alike rather than him.
It's you that you are presenting it. The onus is on you to prove that it is authentic. Not if you say, okay, prove that it is authentic. I'm saying that it is not, right? It's and let us see. As a matter of fact, it's a good occasion for you to bring out those behind it. Because that is very important.
Yeah, but
those who did the concussion,
they're not in a court of law. You're in a court of public opinion.
Yes.
And when it comes to public opinion, people can easily be influenced by simply the existence of that tape. So the onus is on you to come out and say that this is not true.
And that is precisely what you have said. Yeah. And I remain, in that position. Weaponization of religion, right, was actually introduced to Nigerian politics in this electoral cycle, by those who came up with the ticket of this Muslim ticket. Pray. How are people expected to react to that, right? I don't believe in religious politics, but look, we are looking to balance your ticket.